It is now down to the final 3 races of the Gatorade Cup Series Season number 13. We stay on the West Coast at the Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California. This is the Sony 500, one of the craziest races every season on the Gatorade Cup Series schedule. It is one of the last 3 this season, and the quest for the championship is still very, very close between 2 drivers at the top of the points list. Zach DeLello, the 52, on pole for today's race. Beside him in second, the 20 of Riley Cresswell. Starting in third place, it's not against Scott. In fourth, we have Cody Anderson. And ranking out the top 5, the 88 of Eli Bright. Starting in sixth place, it's Evan Hunter. In seventh, we have Anson and Charlebois. Then Brunswick, the 3, starts in eighth. In ninth place, it's Justin Seidel. And ranking out the top 10, Jake Galway in car number 11. Back behind them with Scott Greger, who's inside in 11th place. That's the points leader. Jay Reno has a comfortable margin over seniors competitor Luke Rainey in the points. Then we have Colin Teague in the 51, Nathan Barrett 77, who's outside. Then we have the 14 of Marshall Burrow and the 54, Sebastian Kukulan. Then there's Matt Oskin in the 13 of Anthony Hernandez, along with Roman Fenway and Bibi Ruiz in the 00. Then we have Max Rossi and Keegan Thompson, the 48, along with Caden Lynn and Conrad Evans in the 8. Then there's Brandon Beal and Riley Spurley-Tube, with Logan Williams and Max Anderson in the 43. Then there's Brett Sierra and Riley Sampson, with Jonathan Buford and Code Luigi. Then we have Levi Shones and TJ Hanley, Ross McTrain the 10 and the 9 of Jeff Bright. Then Derek Himmel and Diego Yepez. They're second in points. Luke Ray start back in the 39th position. Jay Jefferson, who's outside the 19. And in the final row, John Smith in the 4 and the 36 of Mitchell Collins. There's our 42 car field for the third to last race of the Gatorade Cup Series Season 13, the Sony 500 at Auto Club. Let's go on trackside and fire these cars up.
Runners, start your engines!
The command has been given. 42 engines come to life here at the Auto Club Speedway to do battle in California for 38 laps in the third to last race of the season. Chase race number 8 of 10 in the Gatorade Cup Series Season 13. And at the front, non-chasing release of the green flag, Zach DeLello and Riley Cresswell. Entering this race, 6 points separate the top 2 in the point standings, with 53 Jay Rando, 6 points up on Luke Rainey. Drivers that can try and catch up like Max Anderson and Caden Lynn, Anson and Charlebois are running out of time. However, they all are close enough to where if the front 2 have issues, they can pounce and be within a race into the final 2. Pace car in. Zach DeLello has the field in his hands. He'll start the Sony 500. Green flag in the wind, and we're underway in California. Already 3 by 3, Zach DeLello clears down the back to turns 3 and 4. Eli Bright for second. Anson and Charlebois 4 wide to the bottom of the 96. Already making aggressive moves. Jay Randall making aggressive moves in the 53. It'll be 3 wide as they come off turn number 4. That was aggressive for Randall, who comes down to the points here. Didn't have to make that move, but he made it anyway. Now Rick Ware 1, 2, 3 with DeLello leading. Randall in second, up to third for Colin Teague in the 51. Randall wants this lead quickly, but they'll be 5 wide behind. Can they sort that out to 4? Off the corner. Close racing in the pack. Down the back stretch. This is for fourth. 5 wide. They're squeezing, they're shoving. Now they're 5 wide. Another row back there. At the front goes Colin Teague. They're all trying to keep it off each other. Zeidel. Oh, there they go into the outside wall. Hunter on his side, on his lid. Marshall Burrow collected. Hanley involved. Jonathan Buford pulls Sarah DeLello. They're still wrecking. John Smith and Hanley also get involved. Caution flag is out on lap number 2. A massive crash towards the front of the field. It was an early dose of 5 wide racing here in California, and we know that that never results in a good thing. And this time it results in a massive crash. 2 cars go in the air and on their lid. Colin Teague with the lead in the 51, an early yellow flag here in the Sony 500. A lot of good cars already collected. Evan Hunter was upside down in the 6th. Let's go see what happened. A lot of drivers have just been making these aggressive moves early on. We had been seeing it where people are just shoving each other aside to go 3, 4, and 5 wide, and finally it found a breaking point in 3 and 4 as Evan Hunter, Zeidel, and Lynn, they all try to stay off each other. Kane Lynn, a big one there, comes in the top 3 in points, and He fortunately gets away. Unfortunately for Zidell and Hunter and DeLello and Burrow, they're hard into the outside wall. The 6 up off the ground on his lid. Burrow with a nasty ride. There's Hanley spinning around off of someone's bumper. John, the Beeford chaser involved, and then John Smith will hit TJ Hanley as well in the 4 car. So there were about 7-8 cars that got collected in this one. Could have been a lot more because that started up near the top 5 and very well could have taken out over 10-15 cars. Somehow, someway, a lot of drivers did a great job missing it. Like watch Noggin, Scott, and Eli Bright, who were the first to arrive. They said might get low. Riley Cresso, Gowie, look at all those drivers get low and get by. That was really good driving by a lot of drivers right there to miss this scary, scary crash. Unfortunately for these drivers, they were involved in it. They had nowhere to go, and they were really no part of it unless they were on the inside and made the move, which none of these guys were on the inside. They couldn't help this. That is scary stuff. Jonathan Beeford, a chaser who's had a terrible, terrible chase. Came in with high expectations, #1 seed. And unfortunately, it's just not gone that way. And there's Smith hitting Hanley right there. And they'll knock both those cars out of commission as well. Luke Rennie was at the back of the pack. Got low and missed it. The 2 cars still trucking on. But Jay Rendo's also ahead of the crash. He's still going in the 53. Rendo's teammate Colin Teague leads early on the Sony 500. It was a crazy start. Teague made 3 wide on his teammates to get to the front. One of them's out, but they're now 1 and 3 with Colin Teague leading this race in the 51 car. Coming back green here in Fontana, California, cleaning up the first yellow flag. We'll go green on lap number 7 here for our first restart of the race. Marsha Burrell, TJ Hanley, Evan Hunter, John Smith, Justin Zidell, and Zachary DeLello all out from that crash. That's big there. That is all but one of the Stuart Haas cars. Their other teammate, their only teammate left, is running 34th. That's Ross McTrain. John Beeford, the only car to get damaged from that crash, and is still running. He's in the 36th and final position. Does have some front end damage on the 18. We'll see how bad. I don't think it's going to be too terribly so, but I don't think it's going to be enough to keep up with the pack. You see the front end damage decent there on the 18 car. So you have Colin Teague in the 51 leading it. Second place for Roman Fenway. Jay Brando, the points leader, now up to 3rd. Anthony Hernandez in 4th, and Caden Lynn each shuffle that 53 out. He's in 5th. They have Cody Anderson, Anton Charlebois, Oskin, and Baird, and Williams. That's the front 10. We're back going. Luke Rennie sets to line up in the 25th position after starting back in 39th. Already look at this 3 wide at the front. Caden Lynn has shoved the 53 to the outside. Now Rando on the outside conveyor belt to drop backwards. Fenway to his outside in the 17. At the front, still Teague leading it. Caden Lynn for 2nd on chaser Anthony Hernandez. Getting pushed from Riley Sampson, Anton and Charbonne. Charbonne, another driver who could try and get into the championship fight if Brando has a bad day. Caden Lynn for the lead. Entered 4th in points. 1 behind Max Anderson for 3rd. You can see Max just back there on the inside trying to move forward that blue and white car. Caden Lynn leads in the 37, comes up to cover the spot from Riley Sampson. To the inside, 3 wide, comes to the 15, Cement Oskin. Oskin for the lead here in Fontana. And here comes Jeff Bright. He's won many times here, looking for another one. Yes, and Eli pushing him forward. The Bright's going for 1-2 down the backstretch. Eli pushing Jeff forward. Here comes 2 Penske cars. Riley Spurley and Levi Jones, both California natives. Now Jeff gets shoved out by son Eli. Here comes Spurley Tube. Won in fantastic fashion the Pennzoil Truck Series here a few days ago. Spurley to the bottom with Levi Jones. Remember Levi, he won here back in season 9, his championship season in fascinating fashion. It was his, what was it, 9th or 10th win in the Gatorade Cup Series, tied him for the most all time. Jones will be back out front. Here comes Max Anderson. I believe he won this race back in season 8. Well, it wasn't this race, but he won here back in season 8. It was the 2nd race of the season. That was his championship season. They'll be 4 wide for the lead at the end of the backstretch. 43 and 12 rub off each other. Here comes to the inside, Yepez and Cody Anderson. Yepez slides up Anderson to the bottom of the 95. These drivers still aggressive early on. And they just saw a big crash happen, but they're not fazed by it whatsoever. And something shocking here, Jay Reynolds been able to stay in this middle lane and is holding it right now up in the middle inside the top 5. Very impressive for Jay Reynolds to do that, because you would think he'd be falling back a little bit, but he's actually making progress in that middle. Oh, it's getting dicey at the front. They're trying to make moves 2 cars at a time instead of 1. That's what leads to the 5 wide scenarios, as we almost have one further back in the pack. It's still 4 wide for now, but some of these drivers further back as they're 4x4 packed to the front. Oh, that's going to be 5 wide. Close there for Scott and others. They're trying to keep off each other. They do for now. They're 4 wide again for the race lead, but they are 4x4 multiple rows deep in the front. At some point, something's going to happen to cause another crash here, and This one could be a lot bigger than the first one. Yeah, Anderson almost shoved it 5 wide, but thought better of it. Randall kind of in the middle of a mess in the 53. That car getting all sorts of sideways. Osgood looking to shoot the middle of the 53 and others, and will do it. Kukulon for the lead in the 54, bringing last place our Mitchell Collins up with him in the 36. Here comes Cameron Evans and Pimpy Ruiz as they'll try and sort the 4 wide back to 3. Randall gets clear of the 4. Now they're 4 behind him and rubbing off each other. Another California native. Cole Luigi comes inside, bringing Brett Ciro with him, and Ross McStrain. There's the Bone Stewart Haas car left. Getting aggressive here in California, not even halfway through it. Low contact, they're going to be 5 wide. Can they keep it from crashing? No, they won't. Randall gets clipped into the outside wall. Randall gets back going. Luke Rennie's by the crash. Caden Lynn maybe stopped. Spurgeon maybe stopped. Cole Luigi's done. Oskin is done. Colin Teague is there. Nathan Baird is there. Yellow flag again. Back around. Anthony Hernandez for the lead. Mitchell Collins started last. Anthony Hernandez leads them back around on lap 12. The second caution flag is out, but this one, major championship implications for Jay Rando, who got collected in the crash and has side damage. I believe it's on both sides of that car. I think he got sandwiched up against the wall as well. The right side looks fine, but the left side is something you have to look out for. He got hit pretty hard there, but luckily he was able to keep it going straight. Didn't just get stalled in the middle of the track there like we saw with Code Luigi. So we'll have to see how bad that damage is on the 53. Can he try and stay with the pack? Can he stay up to speed, or will it be slower? That's the question. And the question is, will we have now pit stops? It's a 38-lap race. At some point, they're probably going to have to come down pit road. This might be a great opportunity to do so, but we'll have more cars out. Another chaser, Code Luigi, will retire. Oh, Nonigan Scott got collected. Caden Lynn was back around it. I don't know if he got slowed. I think he did to miss it. I think Caden Lynn's car looks fine. I don't see much damage, if any, to it. Spurgeon, I think, was the same story there. Brett Sear, there's Luke Rennie. One of the last cars through the crash. He's fine. He got low in the 2, but he has some work to do. Still back in 25th. That's where he restarted. So the whole field on the pit road for tires and fuel. You can see 2 going on Ruiz. We'll see who takes 2, who takes 4. I'd just be taking 4 here. It's a racetrack where track position doesn't mean anything. So why not take 4 tires, get it full of fuel, and know you have enough to make it to the end, and then you have more grip as well. So I like the call for 4 tires right here. Even if some might take 2, I still like the call for 4. You see Rose put 4 on, Hernandez puts 4 on. He's down and away. Max Anderson, Riley Sampson, Levi Schoens also leaving their pit boxes. Hernandez trying to be the first off, just how he entered. Mitchell Collins trying to beat Ruiz off, but can't. The 00 will retain second for now. There you can see Bron Smick leaving pit lane. Conrad Evans. There's Kukulon. Ruiz will keep second. So Anthony Hernandez onto pit road first, off pit road first. One of our chasers leads back to the green flag. Let's go see what happened in the crash towards the front of the field. More cars involved. Another chaser out. It's Code Luigi in the 42. Caution flag for the second time. Let's go see what happened. This was just a case of something at some point was going to go bad, and it just happened to be right here in turns 1 and 2. Brett Sear makes a move on Code Luigi, which puts them 4 wide, 5 wide, entering turns 1 and 2. And right here, the 42 trying to keep off the 24s. Sierra keeps coming off the racetrack. Schoens is up there. The 42 trying to come down. Sierra's still kind of coming up. And right here, the 42 clips with the 24, who keeps coming up. Rando gets collected right there. Keegan Thompson able to keep his car going straight. Rando doesn't look like it's terrible damage. They exceed Nonigan Scott. Jay Jefferson Spurgeon tip on the brakes along with Caden Lynn. They get low and get by. Nonigan Scott gets away with minimal damage. Colin Teague, the 51, will right there, I think, runs into Nathan Bears. The 77 trying to get back on. The 51 runs into the 77 right there. So that will take a few more cars out. The caution flag for the second time here in the Sony 500. This one once again at the front of the field, and the points there Randall collected. However, if they can just beat in that left side, that car may be fine to go. They see Luke Rennie also missing at the 2, got on the brakes and got low and got by. And once again, a crash happens in the top 10, but only collected a handful of cars. That could have been a lot bigger once again than what it was. So racing back around, Anthony Hernandez into pit road first and off of pit road first. One of the chasers leads chase race number 8, looking to try and claw his way back up into the championship fight. Anthony Hernandez leads the Sony 500 at the Auto Club Speedway. Green flag will wave this time by, not even halfway done with the Sony 500. We'll go green on lap number 17. It's been a crazy one so far. 2 caution flags, a lot of cars out. We'll see if it continues with that trend. Out from this one are only Code Luigi and Cement Oskin. 34 cars left running. Riley Sampson the last of them. Luke Rennie currently scored a in 27th. They fixed some damage on the 53 Rando. That's why he's back in 30th. Better to fix it now than be sorry later. So we'll see if Rando can stay with the pack now that they've beaten that left side a little bit. Will the damage be fixed enough to where it can stay? He has some damage cars like the 1851 from him that he has to dispose of before he can stay with the pack. So at the front, Chasers rule the grid. Anthony Hernandez and Pibby Ruiz are 1-2, then Kukulon and Collins, and another Chaser, Max Anderson. There's Evans, his teammate Minnick, McTrain, Thompson clipped in the crash, but still going, and Levi Shones. That's the front 10. We're back going in Auto Club. The pack already a little bit slower. Randall shooting the middle, 3 wide, trying to stay with the lead draft. He gets through the 18, the 51, both obviously Collins taking his teammate to let him go. Already running really high in the 2 car there. He thought Scott was going to be slower, but that 66 only rear end damage. That doesn't really slow you that much. So I think Scott should be fine to keep going, but if he's, going to be a little bit slower, Luke definitely has to get low as quick as possible and get by him. But right there, see Luke already trying to make the pass on Scott, knowing that 66 might just be a little bit slower. Not terribly slow, but just a little bit. At the front, already positions being shuffled around, being thrown around. Hernandez led at the restart. He's back to 5th. 3 wide to the bottom. Bronsmake led that lap. He's definitely not going to lead the next one because Max Rossitu is inside. And here comes Levi Schultz again at the 12. They're already 4 wide. Cresswell shoving against Scott Greger in the inside. Jay Brando just kind of latching onto the draft. I would not be liking that if I was on the 53 team. He could just, he has to be closer to the draft, but if he's only latching onto it, that's not going to be good in the long run. If this stays green, he's not going to stay with the draft, I wouldn't think. 4 wide again for the lead. Riley Cresswell, the 20, leads the lap. Here comes Hendrick Motorsports teammates Keegan Thompson and Jeff Bright. 4 wide to the bottom for the lead. Thompson will clear. Here comes Jeff Bright to the inside of the 48. Here comes Logan Williamson, the inside of the 9. With how these guys are racing today, it's got to be nerving if you're one of these championship contenders, like the 2, the 43, the 53, even the 37. I mean, you're up here trying to battle for points and get into a position to where you can fight for the championship, but who knows if you're going to make it out of this race in one piece. We'll reach halfway in the Sony 500. 2 caution flags so far. Anson and Tralba leads in the 96. Luke Rennie, his first appearance inside the top 20 today. Luke forcing aside Caden Lynn, looking for a top 10 spot. Yepes moves out front. There's Luke. He's going to force middle by Roman Fenway. He might have enough for a run to clear right there in the 2 car. I think he is. There's Luke Rennie. Welcome to the top 10 for the first time today. The 2 cars up there. The move by teammate Levi Shones down in front of Fenway. 17 looking a little bit better at this stage, trying to shove the 2 up a little bit. Luke now inside the top 5. There's Randos with the draft with Nonigan Scott, so they got in it. They're in it to win it now. Anson and Tralba leads. Luke Rennie looks like he's better down the straightaway. Maybe that car a little bit more trimmed out. Looks like he has more speed down the straightaway rather than through the corners. Looks like that car just does not handle well. See, it really just can't hold the lane it's in. It has to kind of slide up. We saw it also on the restart. He just couldn't get to the bottom. We saw just a few turns as well that he just can't hold the bottom. Luckily the pack 3 wide mostly. I don't think I see any 4 wide at the moment, but there they go 4 wide. That's Caden Lynch shoving inside of Evans, who didn't get much room for Mitchell Collins in the 36. Maybe didn't know they were 4 wide. For the lead, Anson and Tralba still has it. Fenway looking for a way to get up to him. And here comes Caden Lynn in the 37, on the 32. Hamill in the 22 is Spurley 2. Oh, Hamill's got, oh, look at that, 37 up into the 17. Hamill to the inside of all of them. He'll go 4 wide to second, bringing Spurley to put them in the 22. Remember how I mentioned they weren't 4 wide? Well, now they're 4 wide again. Here comes Spurley to 4 wide for second. And there's Jay Brando. That car didn't look like it was going up to speed well, but he got with the draft, and I think if he were by himself, it would be bad, but when he's with other cars, it's all right. They're about 5 wide right there. It's taking my breath away. They're 5 wide again. 3rd time this race. Oh, then better than the first few. They'll shove against each other, trying to get back down to 4. That's close with Eli Bright shoving inside the 88. Again, they get 5 wide down the backstretch. Jay Brando just a few rows ahead of this as Eli's shoving up into Yepes, who's shoving into Lynn, who's shoving into Hamill. Somehow they're sorting it for now. They're beating and banging everywhere around this racetrack. Somehow they're back to 4 for now. Oh, this is nerve-wracking. 15 to go, and I think the front 2 with the right idea. Minnick got the Charles Watts. They make a move immediately, thinking that if we just get away, we'll be fine. But now he's making a move. Look at Anderson shoving. I think that was Williams. Here comes Scott, who got shoved by Anderson. It is madness from 5th on back. 4 wide again. That's for 4th. Minnick leads in the 3. He'll get crossed back under by Anson and Charles Bois. Brando's now middle of this pack in 4 wide. Luke running a few rows back, just trying to stay behind it in case something big happens, which for a few laps it was looking like something massive was going to happen. We'll move back up to the race lead. Anson and Charles had the most laps in this run. Now Logan Williams has a bid for the lead. Minnick will go high. Who's the one to help Williams on the bottom? Looks like it's Max Rossi. Now Minnick's going to try and shove inside the 96 and will. They might set 4 wide for 2nd. I think Thompson and Jones just rubbed again. Look at this pack. 4x4. Luke right now on the bottom. If you're anywhere and they're going to be 4 or 5 wide, you want to be on the bottom because normally that's the lane that doesn't get collected in these crashes. Normally, if you're 2nd lane, 3rd lane, 4th lane, 5th lane, that's where you start to get collected in these. 13 laps to go in the Sony 500 at Auto Club. Yepez up to 2nd behind Logan Williams, who leads this race. Here comes Riley Cresswell and Brandon Beal up front. Yepez goes for the lead on the 47. Here comes Jake Galway, Cresswell's teammate, moving inside of Brandon Beal, going 3 wide. A few cars behind Jake. It's Luke Randy just behind Eli Bright, just in front of Caden Lynn. Yepez moves out front. The pack's starting to scatter just a little bit as tire starts to come into play. These cars can't hold as much as before, and they can't stand the gas as much, so that's something to watch out for later in this race. While it's not going to be impossible to pass, it's not even going to be hard to pass. It's going to be a little bit harder, though. Doesn't mean it'll be hard, though. Still easily pass. Case in point, Luke Randy's making about 3 passes in one right there. The 2 cars on the bottom, the 88, the 11, and the 47. Luke trying to move around them all and catch Declan Yepez. He knows the safest place to be is up in the front of this pack. Here comes Caden Lynn. He'll go for 2nd, bringing Mitchell Collins with them. These Sharpers know they need every goal they can get over Jay Brando to have a shot in the final 2 races, especially Lynn and Anderson and Charles Bois as well. They're up here. They're in this main pack with Jay Brando. They need Brando to score a few points and them to score a good amount. 11 to go. The question is, can they make it 11 more laps? I guess we'll find out throughout this race. So far, Yepez leads in the 34. Here comes Charles Bois back up to 2nd. 4 wide for about 5th or 6th. Luke Randy's on the outside of that. Brando's still back of the pack, just kind of watching this as cars get loose and tighten. The handling wanders all around on these cars as their air is being disturbed on every which way. At the front, Yepez leads. 2nd place is Anthony Charbois looking for a run to get to him. Up to 3rd for Riley Sampson. He'll get shoved up by Conrad Evans. And here comes the 9F Jeff Wright. Jeff to the inside for 3rd. Jay Brando trying to stay ahead of Derek Hamill on the inside. Here comes Max Anderson up to the front. Remember, he enters 3rd in points. He needs a really, really good points day to try and have a shot for the final 2 races. Another driver needs a good points day is bound for the lead. Anson and Charbois is there on Yepez, bringing Riley Sampson, Yepez's teammate, with him. Sampson could also have a shot if things play out right, so watch for him with 9 to go. And I heard a lap car up ahead. I don't want to take my eyes off this back because I feel like something could happen at any moment here, but there is a car up ahead that they're catching. That is Jonathan Buford, and then maybe Nathan Berta-Kalantiga as well. So Buford, we're definitely going to catch in the next lap or 2, and then we're going to have 2 more to be worried about. As Yepez still leads, they still battle for 2nd. The pack at the front starting to get a little more spread out. Jay Brando trying to stay ahead of Hamill, who's had enough and wants to move the 53 aside. But now when you catch traffic, you don't want to be in the middle. I'd rather be in the bottom or the outside because normally the middle lane is the one that always get held up here. And Luke Randy's at the back of this, which is not good for him. So watch as they catch Jonathan Buford, who gets halted, who doesn't, and who might lose the track from this. So they're catching. Oh, there goes Scott Gregory to the inside. Looked like a great save. I think he's still going. He's down on the apron. Through the grass. Oh, he's coming back up. He got Thompson. Luke misses it. Yellow is out. Levi Schoen's also involved. Caution flag is out. That was just when they caught Buford. So they're going to restart middle of this pack. I think Eli Brett's the last car around him. He'll probably restart about 14th in line. A caution with 7 to go. A 3rd of the day. We'll have a restart with under 5 to go, and this is going to get intense. That is for sure. So the race leader at the time of yellow has only the top 13 clear Buford. The race leader, Diego Lopez, did not want to see that. He had a nice gap over the rest of the field, but now a restart to deal with. And two contenders, Keegan Thompson and Levi Schoen's innocent bystanders, as Scott Gregory merged right up into the pack, and trouble emerged. Let's go see what happened. This was just a rookie move by a driver who's won many races in the Gatorade Cup Series. Can't understand why he would do something like this, but Cody Anderson gets up behind him, right? And Anderson just barely, he's trying to get behind the 1 right here. This isn't the mistake. He just barely clips the 1 right there. It doesn't look like he's going to clip him, but he does. Scott does an amazing job keeping that car off the inside wall. But right here, he can stay with the pack. If he just kind of comes up and lets off the gas, he can rejoin at the back of the pack. He stays on the apron, still gaining speed because he's still in the gas. He enters the corner in the grass, comes up right across the nose of Caden Lynn, right across the nose of Luke Rainey. Both those two chasers somehow miss it, and somehow the only 2 cars involved are Levi Schoens and Keegan Thompson. That could have been a disaster. That could have ended Lynn's season. That could have ended Rainey's season. That was just that was not safe out of a driver who's won many of these things, and I don't understand what Scott Gregory was thinking there. I mean, that was oh so close for 2 of our championship contenders. Oh my gosh, Luke and Leonard. Especially Luke, he's missed about everything here today. He's going to need some sort of... he has the horseshoe, I think. And if you remember Code Luigi back in his championship season, Season 5, it was this race, the Sony 500 Under the Lights, where he missed about 2-3 crashes and won the championship because of this race. So if Luke has a shot and possibly wins it, it could be this race that he looks back on and says, well, this is what gave me the shot. So at the front, Diego Lopez and Central, they've dominated the latter half of this race. They're going to try and hold on. A championship runner starts inside the top 10. His other contender starts in the back of the pack. We'll see how this restart goes. It'll be under 5 to go. To be a crazy one from the Sony 500. 3 laps is all they'll have left. So these chasers that need points on Jay Randall, they need to hope the 53 gets shuffled. They can get up to the front as quick as possible. At the front, Diego Lopez leads in California. Keegan Thompson, the only car out, will have 32 cars on the lead lap. John Threeford now lap down in 33rd position, the 18. So at the front, Lopez leads. Second place for Anton and Charles Bois. Logan Williams in 3rd. Derek Kimmel in 4th. And Ross McTrain in 5th. They have Jeff Bright 6th. Cody Anderson 7th. Baby Ruiz 8th. 9th place, Max Rossi. There's our points there. Jay Reno in 10th. How does he go on this restart? They have Brandon Beal 11th. Anthony Hernandez 12th. There's Eli Bright 13th. Those drivers are clear of the traffic. Then you have John Threeford for the lap car. He'll line up 14th in line. But once again, damaged and slower. How fast can Evans and Sampson and Kukulon, Spurleytube, Collins, Anderson, Fenway get around? Even Lynn and Luke Rainey. And how about Cresswell, Minnick, Galway, Scott? They were all in the draft. These cars are damaged. Scott Gregory, Levi Schoens, Jay Jefferson, Brett Sierra, Nathan Baird, Colin Teague. That's the field. 3 to go in California. How does the points picture look after this one? Who wins the race? Lopez will be the first to go on the gas. There he goes. We're back going. Randall jumps to the outside of the 53. Now, Buford will stay low right here because you can pass to the outside before the start-finish line. So cars are going to try and get around the outside here, but now they shuffle to the inside. Anderson going to try and get around the outside, stay touch. Luke Rainey might get halted. Have to follow Fenway through quickly. At the front of challenge for the lead is on. These guys are through the 18, but time is running out. 2 to go at the line. Williams for the lead on Lopez. Here comes McTrain and Cody Anderson. Randall's still up top. Eli Bright getting around him. But Lynn and Luke Rainey need to beat him. They know they see that 53 up top. They need to get around him. They're so far back. 2 to go. Ross McTrain leads in the 10. Cody Anderson to his inside. 3 wide. Here comes Max Rossi, Anthony Hernandez, Brandon Beal. Through 1 and 2. 4 wide for Anthony Hernandez, the pole sitter, looking for the lead. Look at that second pack back there. They're trying to catch up. Randall gets in line, but the pack back behind is scattering all around. White flag this time around. I'd like to be in the position, maybe Beal, Ruiz, Eli Bright, maybe even Conrad Evans. Rossi for the lead. Here they come to the white flag. One more time around the Auto Club Speedway. Cars trying to get every point possible in this pack. Corner 1 and 2, Max Rossi leads. Here comes Ruiz to the bottom of Beal, bringing Eli Bright, but Rossi able to clear the 81. Down the backstretch for the final time, clear traffic for Max Rossi. Unless something magical happens, it's over in California. Hernandez trying for a big run in 3 and 4. He'll get clear of the inside lanes. He'll get down to the bottom of Max Rossi. What a move for Hernandez through 3 and 4. Can he get the run to the checker flag in time? It's going to be close to the start-finish line. Too close to call for the win, and it goes to Max Rossi over Anthony Hernandez. That was insane. Anthony Hernandez poured it all out at the end, knowing a win was basically his only shot to get back into the championship fight, and oh boy did he try. Let's go look at that again, because I didn't think he'd have a shot. I didn't think he'd get clear. Look at this 13 here. As they come off 2, he pulls ahead down the backstretch. What a great run down the backstretch as they stalled out on the inside. Hernandez right there. Hail Mary. Dive. Hope I'm clear. Stay in the gas. Puts dirty on Ruiz as a checkup, and now it's just these two cars side by side to the line, and Rossi versus Hernandez. Checker flag goes up, and the 81 wins by inches over Anthony Hernandez. The third to last race of the season did not disappoint. Look at that margin of victory. Too close to call in real time. 5 1/1000ths of a second is the margin. One of the closest Gatorade Cup Series finishes in history. Luke Rainey will lose 1 point to Jay Rando, but Rando, obviously only 1 point gain on Luke Rainey. The two still with a shot at it. We'll see who else has a shot. Let's go down and see the finish results and the update points heading into the final 2 races of the season. It was a crazy one in the Sony 500 at the Auto Club Speedway. Here's how they finished. 4 caution flags, 12 laps, 16 lead changes, 16 different drivers led here today in Fontana. By 5 1/1000ths of a second, Max Rossi in the 81 reigns supreme over Anthony Hernandez in second, our highest finishing chaser. Eli Bright ends up in third, Ruiz in fourth, and Conrad Evans the top 5 in the 8. Brandon Beal, a great 6th place finish for him. Ross McTrain 7th place, Cody Anderson in 8th, Jeff Bright in 9th, and Logan Williams runs at the top 10 in the 47. Anson and Charlebach, good points there for him, but he definitely wanted a lot better. 11th place for him. Mitchell Collins from last to 12th. Yepes led the most laps at 10, ends up in 13th. Sebastian Kukulon 14th, Derek Himmel 15th. They have Cresswell 16th, Jay Brando 17th for him, Luke Rainey 18th, Riley Sampson 19th, and Jake Galway completes the top 20 in the 11 car. So even though for Jay Brando, he was involved in that one yellow, got damaged, so they took time to fix the damage, fell back to 30th. He still battles up and got the very fortunate break that he was ahead of Jonathan Buford on that restart, because drivers getting a little bit stuck behind him. It split the pack up just enough for Brando to stay in front of Luke Rainey to keep the points lead over Luke and actually extend it by a point. So now it's 7 points up on Luke, 2 races left, and now it's maybe 2 cars broken away, and a third could maybe factor in. We'll talk about that once we look at the rest of the finishing results. More chasers. Caden Lynn 22nd. He definitely wanted a lot better out of this one. That's going to be a big shame for him. Max Anderson 25th. That was a really, really big hit in the gut for Max right there. As there were a lot of chasers in this pack. If Randall falls back and Anderson finishes well, that could have been a really good points day for him. Nottingham Scott 26th. And then those were the only cars that finished kind of in that pack at the end. Jonathan Buford lap down. There was only one chaser out. It was Cole Luigi in 36th. So a lot of chasers finished, and that's where the disappointment for Randall actually getting points here, getting a good points day here today, really stings for the drivers who are fighting for that championship with them. At the right side are the points. 2 races left in the season. Jay Randall enjoys a 7-point margin over Luke Rainey in second. Once again, 7 points. We've seen that made up in the final race of the season, so it's definitely not done for Rando by any means. He still has to make it through 2 more crazy racetracks, but it's looking good for him right now. He has a good points cushion. He's never really put a foot wrong so far this chase. So Randall leads by 7 over Luke. Behind Luke, you have Anson and Charlebach, the next highest. He's 13 back. He's 3rd in points. He has a shot still. He's still within a race of the points lead, so anything can still happen on that front. But then you look down below that. That's where it's starting to get close for 4th, but also I don't think it's going to be close enough for the championship. Caden Lynn and Max Anderson, they'd have to make up 17 points. It's possible, but they need Rando to really, really perform poorly at Chicagoland. Same said for Bibby Ruiz, who'd have to make up 18 points on that points. And down below that, you really start to say there's no shot that this can happen. Riley Sampson would have to make up 21 points. Jake Galloway 22. I just don't see that happening. the most you can make up in 2 races is 28. So I just don't see it happening for people below the top 6 or so. But I'd definitely say right now there's only 3 realistic championship contenders. So let's have to see how the next 2 races go. So it's been a crazy first 8 chase races. Randall's somehow been able to make it through all this craziness with only 1 poor chase finish. That was at Phoenix, where he got 8th highest. The rest have been 5th highest or better. So we'll see how it goes for Randall next race. And Luke Rainey and Anson Charles, they're the 3 title contenders at the moment. For the second to last race of the season, we'll go racing at the Chicagoland Speedway for the Gatorade 400. I'll see you guys then.